So you just installed Ganister and you create your first part, and this is what you get. And this is not exactly the form that you want to describe a part in your organization. So let's see how you can change this form. You go in gconfiguration, gconfig if you have an admin, right? So when you install Ganister, the first user, which is test, has access to this. You go in data model, then parts, and here you can add properties and then modify the user interface. So here, a first few things. The form, you will see that we don't define each location of each field by pixel. We don't locate them manually. We stack them and we give them a width to display how they behave, because this is responsive. So when you move this, it's going to change like this. So it's just, you have to take this in mind when you define these forms. You have different types of element objects. First thing is you can define if there is a thumbnail or not. If you don't want a thumbnail, then you'll uncheck this. And when you refresh, it removes the thumbnail. It's not a live update of the form, but there's no server to restart. You just have to refresh the page. And the other information that you need to take in mind is we use a web standard from most libraries that are used to define visual or user interfaces. The space here is split into 12 columns. So here, for example, you have ref that takes 2 columns, name takes 2 columns, type takes 2 columns. We have 6 columns occupied here, and then description taking 6 columns. If you go in UI form design, you see ref 2, name 2, type 2, description 6. And then external ref 2, tags 2. They go on the next line because it goes beyond the 12 columns. Okay. So if we wanted to have all the fields on the same line and descriptions at the bottom, then we can do description 12. And if you refresh, you have your description here. You can change those elements. For example, type, you see that it's not taking more than half of it. But be careful, because if you have a smaller screen, then you see here, it takes the whole thing. Well, I don't think a lot of users need so much zoom, but so in some cases, I will just put this to 1. So here you see traceability also is not opened. That's something that you can define. Is it folded or not when it's loaded? If you wanted, for example, to have ref and name and then type external ref and tags, or just external ref and tags on the next line, you can do so by adding containers. So you can create a container here, another one here. You put ref, name, name and type here. You define the container as a row, so you don't see that it is a container. It just makes sure that this is on the same line and the others 2 are on the same line. And potentially you still want, so let's see the result here. So you see, but potentially you wanted external ref to be here. So this one, I didn't define it as a row. And for example, if you want, you can add an offset. So you can add an offset of 6. And as you can see, so you don't see that these are two different containers. You have the offset. I should have put 5 because we reduced this one, and it's still, it's still responsive. If you want to add more forms, so there are two moments where you create forms. When you create a new node type, and in this case, with the few first properties that you're creating, we have what you do when you create your node type. You assign groups, and based on these groups here, by clicking the auto generate button, I won't do it here to not erase my form. If you click auto generate, it lists all the groups in your properties, and it creates the form automatically. So it's a good start, but most of the time you're going to update the form. So if you want to add new properties, you either have to create properties because maybe you haven't added them. So let's do a wait. So by default, it asks you if you want to add it on the table. So the weight here, if it's double, which is a type of number, this is for the translation. Let's say we're in English translation. And then in the UI, you can add a weight here. So you can see here that there is a yellow pop-up. Basically, it says that the Ganister couldn't build the form because there's something missing. And basically, it's because we didn't assign any property here. So it is weight. And we can put more. It could be... 2 is fine. And then you have a weight field. I think that's about it. We can add dates because here you can see these are dates that are set up by the system. So if we create a date here, internal date, and you want to set it as a date. Oops. Well, let's also add a boolean, a secret, so you can see what type of UI you're getting. Boolean. So let's add them here. So I said boolean and secret, and the other one is internal date. Okay. So secret appears like this. So you can see if you didn't define a default value for a boolean, it's going to appear as undefined if it has not been defined yet. So it's like a middle state where no decision has been taken, and so then you can set it as true or false in this. And the type, this is a list, and the date, you would have this. So from this, you can do pretty much whatever you want in terms of form. It's up to you to add more fields, to add more sections, and adapt it to your users' needs. That's important to review the design of your forms with the users. That's one of the main reasons why we make it easy to update forms is it's to allow you to confront any design to your users, and make sure that they like the form experience.